So, hello students. Hi, my name is Vamsi and I am your max teacher. So, today what we are going to learn is real numbers. So, before I start the chapter real numbers, let me say you one thing. So, we are going to learn mathematics. So, I am your mathematics teacher and we are going to learn mathematics. So, unlike in a traditional way, we are going to learn mathematics concept in a more relatable, more a realistic and more easy way so that you can understand the things, so that you can understand the topics. What are the topics? Not might it be real numbers, what are the upcoming topics are also there, you can very easily understand and you can very easily solve and attempt the questions. So likewise we will going to learn mathematics in another interesting and more funny way. So now let's come to real numbers. So real numbers is the very first chapter in our 10th class mathematics. So you don't need to worry about the sir, I don't know the basics and I don't know the previous concepts, so that I cannot able to understand real numbers or not, means it is absolutely not like that. So from now, if you are learning things from now also, you can able to relate and you can understand max very well. So that promise I can make. And one more thing I can say you that after watching this video, after watching the lecture real numbers from me, you can solve any kind of question from this chapter real numbers. You might take any book, whether it may be R.S. Agarwal or R.D. Sharma or any NCRTs, any competitive books that you can take. Questions will able to do by you. You can able to make a question from the chapter real numbers. That promise I can give you. So, but one thing I want from you is your 100% efficiency. So listen this class very carefully till the end. Please make sure that how much retention you are having in the beginning of the class, the same retention you will having ending of the class also. Then it will be very easily understand by you. So that promise I want from you. So I hope everyone is clear with my instructions, and how many of you guys are really enjoying that we are going to learn a new topic today. How many of you are having that enthusiasm to read a new chapter? So let's begin our very first chapter, real numbers. So I will give you the overview of the chapter. So in real numbers, basically there are only two parts are there. So this is the part one that we can take, and this is the another part. So in part one, the topic what is LCM and HCF. LCM and HCF. In another section, what is the topic is proving irrationality. Proving irrationality. If you know how to find LCM and HCF and some other properties which you are going to learn in a while, and if you know how to prove irrationality, I mean for example, if any root 2 or root 5, root 7, like that numbers will be given to you. Prove that root 2 is irrational. If you know the concept how to prove root 2 is irrational, then this part is done. If you know what is LCM, what is HCF and how to find out the LCM and HCF, then this part is also over. By learning these two concepts, by learning these two topics, your real number chapter is done. What are the questions that might come? Yeah, in board's point of view, 1 mark definitely will become and 8 marks definitely will become. It will be the subset for you. In other competitive view also, any kind of problem you can able to solve after listening this two. So the information that you are have, I mean how to find what are LCM and HCF and how to find LCM and HCF. If you are having this information in your brain, you can solve LCM and HCF problems very easily. And if you know the information what are irrational numbers and how to find out that irrational number, how to prove whether the given number is irrational or not, if you are having that information in your brain, you can able to solve these questions. So I am here you to giving that information to you, whatever the knowledge that I am having. So based on this I am sharing that knowledge to you. So please be consistent and please be understand the topics that I am going to teach. So I hope you are all And you are all understand that overview of the chapter. So first we begin with our part 1, section 1, LCM and HCF. Before we dive into the directly LCM and HCF, we need to know some important basics. So let us see what that important basics are. So to understand LCM and HCF, we need to know two things, that are factors. Factors and multiples. So factors and multiples. So basically what factors are means numbers. Factors are nothing but those are also numbers. Numbers which divides the given number are called factors. I know you don't understand by the definition. I will explain what the factors are by giving an example. For example, if we take one number 8. So what are the factors of that 8? So that we are going to learn now. So the factors means numbers which divides the given number are called factors. So for example, what are the numbers that can divide the number 8? 1. 1 will divide the number 8. So for example, 1. 1 8s are 8. So what the remainder that we got? That we got is 0. If remainder equal to 0, then that number is divide that particular number. Likewise, if I take 2, does 2 divides 8? Let us check. 2 4s are 8. So the remainder is 0. What is the remainder that we get? That we get is 0. Then 2 will definitely divide that 8. Does 3 will divide 8? Let us see. So the highest possible is 3 2s are 6. So 2. Remainder equal to 2, not equal to 0. So then 3 will divide the number 8. No, then 3 is not called the factors. So now do you understand what the factors are? Factors means the numbers which divides the given number are called the factors of that particular number. So 3 is not the factor. I will erase 3. Now let us take 4. Does 4 will divide 8? Let us see. 4 8. 4 2s are 8. 0. Remainder is 0. So that's why 4 will divide 8. Now if I take 5, 5 will not going to divide 8. If I take 6, likewise 6 is not 6 is also not going to divide. So what is the number? What is the next number that going to divide 8 is the 8 itself. So 1, 2, 4 and 8. These numbers are the factors of that 8. Apart from these numbers, there are no any other number which is the factor of 8. Only these 4 numbers are the factors of that 8. I will take another example also for a better understanding. So if I take 8, so what are the factors of that 8? If I take 10, what are the factors of the 10? 1 is the factors of the 10. Always 1 and the number itself are the factors of that particular number. So keep remember that always 1 and the number itself definitely are the factors of that itself, because those numbers are definitely divide that particular number. If I take 10 here, so 1 and 10 are definitely divide the number 10. So what are the numbers that are coming in between 1 and 10? So we will check. Does 2 will divide the number 10? 2 5s are 10. So 2 5s are 10. So the remainder we get is 0. Then 2 will divide that number 10. Does 3 will divide that number 10? 3 3s are 9. Remainder is not equal to 0. Therefore 3 is not the factor of the 10. Does 4 will divide 10? No. Does 5 will divide 10? Yes, 5 2s are 10. So in between 5 to 10 there are no other number which divides the number 10. Therefore the factors of the 10 are 1, 2, 5 and 10. So here what are the factors of the 8? 1, 2, 4 and 8. I hope you will understand what the factors are. So now you say what are the factors of that number 6. So first you will write the easy one. What are that easy one? 1 and 6 are always the factors of that number 6. Now does 2 will divide the number 6? Yes, 2 3s are 6. Therefore 2 divides 6. 2 is that factor of the 6. Does 3 will divide 6? Yes, 3 2s are 6. The 3 will divide 6. Therefore 3 is the factor of the 6. Apart from these four numbers, there are no other number which divides that number 6. That's why only these four numbers are called the factors of that 6. So I am writing here in statement form, numbers 1, 2, 3 and 6 are called, listen here carefully, are called factors of 6. So this one is very important. Factors of 6. What are the factors of that number? So 1, 2, 3 and 6 are called factors of 6. So these are the factors of 6. So there are no other numbers. Apart from 1, 2, 3 and 6, there are no other number which is going to divide the number 6. That's why only these four numbers are called the factors of 6. That's why 1, 2, 5 and 10 are called the factors of the 10. 1, 2, 4 and 8 are called the factors of the 8. Now I hope you understand what are factors and how to find out that factors. So now let us see what multiples are. Multiples. So multiple means, I will explain the concept multiples with the help of an example. The same number I will take, 8. What are the factors of that 8 means? 1, 2, 4 and 8 are called the factors of that 8. Because why only these 4 numbers? Only these 4 numbers divide that number 8. That's why these are called the factors of that 8. Multiple means multiples of that 8. So 8 ones are, 8 twos are, 8 threes are, 8 fours are, likewise. So multiples, 8 multiples. So 8, 16, 24, 32, all these numbers are the multiples of that 8. That's why, what are the multiples of that 8 means? 8, 16, 24, 32, 40 and so on. Here one thing you need to observe is, I will write a few more example to make you understand better. What are the multiples of that 8? 8, 16, 24, 32, 40 and so on. And what are the multiples of the 10? 10, 20, 32. You can, in layman language, you can think in a way that those which are comes in 10th table, those which are comes in 8th tables, all that are multiples. 30, 40, 50 and so on. For example, if we take 6, what are the multiples of that 6? 6, 12, 18, 24 and so on. So multiple means into 1, into 2, into 2, into 3, into 4, into 5, 8 ones are 8, 8 twos are 16, 8 threes are 24, likewise. So factors are, here one point you will remember, factors are finite. Finite means we can able to say how many factors are there, but multiples are infinite. Multiples are infinite. This goes and so on. So if I take 600, 600 is the multiple of 6. If I take 6,000, 6,000 is also multiple of 6. If I take 6 lakhs, 6 lakhs is also multiple of 6. Likewise, I can take any other number which are the multiple of 6. There are infinite numbers, but it will start from here only. If I take 8, 8 will come first. If I take 10, 10 will come first. If I take 6, 6 will come first, and it goes and so on. Infinites are there. But here if we take, these are finite numbers. Only 1 and 8. In between 1 and 8, that numbers will also come. So these are only finite one. Only finite one. But these are infinite. These are infinite. So I hope you understand what the factors and what the multiples are. Let's recall once again. Factors means numbers which divides the given number are called factors. Multiple means these are the multiples of that particular number. So these one 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. What are all these? These are all multiples of 8. What are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and so on? These are all multiples of 10. What are 6, 12, 18, 24? These are all multiples of 6. So what are 1, 2, 4 and 8? These are the numbers which divides 8. Upon dividing 8 with these numbers, what is the remainder that we get? The remainder that we get is 0. There are no other numbers apart from this which will gives the remainder 0 upon dividing the number 8. I hope you understand what factors and multiples are. Now let's going to other topic. So please make a note of this. So now let's see what prime numbers and composite numbers are. Prime numbers, composite numbers. Students, I hope you are all understanding my way of teaching, and I hope you are getting your concepts clear and you are understanding that each and every concepts very easily. I am assuming if there are any difficulty that you are facing, you can definitely please put a comment in your comment box so that I can improve. I can teach you better. And let us see what prime numbers and composite numbers are. Prime number means numbers which are having factors 1 and itself only. So prime number means, let me explain you with a definition. Let me explain you with an example. For example, I will take some numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will take this set of numbers. Now I want to find out of these numbers what are prime numbers. I will write the definition of the composite numbers also. Later I will explain you this. So composite numbers. So composite number means numbers which are having more than 2 factors. So to understand what prime numbers and what composite numbers are, here if you see one term factors, factors, factors. So that's why I have taught factors before the prime numbers and composite numbers are. Now we are familiar with the word factors. What are the factors? Numbers which divides the given number are called factors. Now we are familiar with the with the word factors. So therefore we can easily understand what prime and composite numbers are. So now I am taking 2. What are the factors of the 2? 1 and 2. So only 1 and 2 are divided 2. Apart from 1 and 2, there are no other number which divides that number 2. Also, I will take 3. What are the factors of the 3, 1 and 3 itself? Now I will take the number 4. What are the factors of that 4? 1. 1 will divide 4? Yes, 1 will divide 4. 2. Does 2 will divide 4? Yes, 2 will divide 4. 3. Does 3 will divide 4? No, 3 will not divide 4. 4. Does 4 will divide 4? Yes, 4 will divide 4. Therefore, 4 is also a factor of 4. Now I will take 5. Does 1 will divide 5? Yes, 1 will divide 5. Therefore, 1 is a factor of 5. 5. Does 5 will divide 5? Yes, 5 will divide 5. Therefore, 5 is a factor of 5. Apart from 1 and 5, is there any number which divides the number 5? No, there are no other numbers which apart from 1 and 5 which are going to divide 5. That's why only 1 and 5 are called the factors. Now I will take 6. Does 1 will divide 6? Yes. Does 2 will divide 6? Yes. Does 3 will divide 6? Yes. Does 6 will divide 6? Yes. Is there any other number which divides the number 6 apart from this? No. Because this is the minimum and this one is the maximum number. Because 1 and the number itself are the maximum. So apart from 6, there are no other numbers which are going to divide that number 6. So now let us see the definition. Prime numbers. Numbers which are having factors 1 and itself. Read the definition again. Read the definition again. You will only come to know what are the prime numbers. Numbers which are having factors 1 and itself. So the numbers which are having the factors 1 and the number itself are called prime numbers. So here what are the numbers that are having 1 and the number itself as the factors? If we look at the number carefully, here what are the factors of the 2? 1 and the number itself are the factors of the 2. Therefore, 2 is called prime number. Here I am writing prime numbers. 2 is called prime number. Why? The factors of 2 are 1 and 2. Now let us see 3. What are the factors of the 3? 1 and the number itself are the factors of the 3. That's why 3 is called the prime number. Now see the number 4. What are the factors of that 4? 1, 2, 4. Apart from 1 and the number itself, there is also another number which is having factor as a 4. That's why. Does 4 is a prime number? No. What is the condition of prime number? Prime numbers are having 1 and itself as the factors. That's why 4 is not called as a prime number. If 4 is not a prime number, then what 4 is? Now let us see the definition of the composite number. Numbers which are having more than 2 factors. What are the two factors? 1 and itself. So apart from 1 and itself, there is also, if there is also at least one number, then those numbers are called composite number. Here now let us see 4. In 4, apart from 1 and 4, there is also another number as a factor of 4. That's why 4 comes under composite numbers. 4 comes under composite number because what are the factors of 4? 1, 2, 4. Apart from 1 and the number itself, there is also another factor. So now let us see 5. What are the factors of 5? 1 and the number itself are the factors of 5. That's why 5 comes under prime number. So 1 and 5 comes under the prime number. Now let us see 6. Now you say what 6 is? Does 6 fall under the prime number category or does 6 fall under the composite number category? Now you will see. Apart from 1 and the number itself, there are also other factors. That's why prime number falls under the, 6 fall under the composite category. So 6 fall under the composite category because 1, 2, 3 and 6 are the factors of the 6. I hope you are all understand with you are all familiar with prime number and composite number also. So let us recall the definition again. Numbers. Hey, simple this one is. Number which are having 1 and itself as the factors. Those numbers are called prime numbers. Composite number means, so close your eyes and just recall what we have taught in the class. Composite numbers are numbers which are having more than 2 factors. So 1, apart from 1 and itself, more than 2 factors. What are the numbers having? Those numbers are called composite number. Prime number means only 1 and itself. So are you all familiar with prime number and composite number also? So now let's go ahead. Now see LCM and HCF. LCM and HCF. I will make you learn LCM and HCF by the definition. By the definition only I am going to teach you what are LCMs and what are HCF. How to find out LCM and how to find out HCF by the definition, by easiest and understanding way I am going to say. Please listen carefully and please listen with your 100% efficient mind. So LCM means least common multiple. HCF means highest common factor. Do we familiar with these words? Say yes or no. Do we familiar with these words? What is least? Least means minimum. So for example, if I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the set. What is the least one in this? 1 is the least one. So also, what are the names for this? Least, minimum. And what is the highest one? This one 5. This one is highest. Or in other term, what we can say maximum. Least means what is that minimum value? What is that minimum value? So do we familiar with the word least? Yes, we will familiar with the word least. And common. Common means we are very much familiar with the word common because we are daily using this word also. Common means what are the common things? Multiple. 5 minutes before only we were familiar with the word multiple. What are that multiples? In table will come. So we familiar with least, we familiar with common, we familiar with multiple. Highest. What is highest? Highest is this one. What is that maximum value? That one is highest. Common we know. Factor. We are very much familiar with the word factor. Numbers which are divide the given number are called the factors. We are all familiar with all these words. Now let us, if we see an example, then LCM and HCF will we can remember in our mind. So I want to aware you one thing that for LCM and HCF, we are not going to find out the LCM and HCF of one particular number. If we want to find out that LCM and HCF, there are at least two numbers should be there. For example, for 2 and 3, we are going to find LCM or HCF because we need to see common things in between them. Common. So please make sure this one. So before I teach you LCM, first I will explain what HCF is. Later I will explain LCM. So I want to find out HCF of two numbers. For example, I will take 2 and 24. My job here is I want to find out HCF of 8 and 24. By explaining this question, I will make you understand what HCF is. HCF, what is the full form of the HCF? Highest common factor. So for that, I need to find out the factors of these two. 8. What are the factors of that 8? 1, 2, 4, 8. 1, 2, 4, 8 are the factors of that 8. Now I want to find out the factors of the 24 also. 24. So the concept which I am saying here, which I am teaching here, this is according to the definition. Later I will say how to find out that HCF and LCM by using prime factorization method also. So what are the factors of the 24? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 24. These are the factors of the 24. Do you get a doubt that, sir, how can you remember that these numbers are the factors of the 24? How do you know? So do you got the doubt while I am writing this factors? Simple. Already I have taught to you. 1 and 24 are always factors of the 1, and the number itself are always factors of that particular number. So what are the other numbers that can come will only be in between these. So how to find these numbers? How to check? If you know tables very well, that you can find out any factors easily. There is no other secret from this. So now I was written all the factors of that 8 and 24. See the definition. What is HCF means? Highest common factor. Common. So I want to find out what are the common factors in this 8 and 24. One is common factor. Yes, one is common factor because one is common in these both two factor. Does 2 is common? Yes, 2 is common. Does 4 is common? Yes, does 4 is common. Does 8 is common? Yes, 8 is common. So these are the common factors in this 8 and 24. But what I want the highest common factor. What are the highest common factor? 8. Look at here. 8 is the highest common factor. 8, the factor 8 is present in both the factors and 8 is the highest one. That's why highest common factor. What is the highest common factor of 8 and 24? 8 is the highest common factor of 8 and 24. So HCF and LCM are the relation of the two numbers. I hope you understand the concept HCF. Now let us see another more example. I want to find out HCF of, let us take 4 and 6. Now I want to find out the HCF of one more number also I will take. I want to find out HCF of 4, 6 and 8. So I want to find out the highest common factor in these. Highest common factor in this. So for that what I need to do? I need to write out the factors of all the numbers. 4. What are the factors of that 4? 1, 2, 4 are the factors of that 4. What are the factors of that 6? 1, 2, 3, 6 are the factors of that 6. What are the factors of that 8? 1, 2, 4 and 8 are the factors of that 8. Now I want to round out the common numbers. So 1 is common, yes, 1 is common. 2 is common. Sorry, here 1. 2 is common, yes, 2 is common. 4 is common, no. 4 is presenting here, 4 is presenting here, but 4 is not presenting in this set. Therefore 4 is not common. What are the only common factors in this all? 1 and 2 are the common factors. 1 and 2 are the common factor. But what I want the highest common factor. What is the highest number? Highest factor that is present in this all three is 2. 2 is presenting there. So that's why. What are the highest common factor? What is the HCF of 4, 6 and 8? 2 is the highest common factor of 4, 6 and 8. Now you will say, does HCF of 22, does it possible or not? HCF of 22, does it possible or not? No, does it not even possible, because to find out the HCF we need at least two numbers, then we can able to find out. Otherwise for single number we cannot able to find out the LCM and HCF. Do you all clear what is HCF means? Say yes or no. If you are clear with what is HCF and what HCF is, show your thumb in the comment box. Now let us see what LCM are. The same examples I am going to take. The same numbers I am going to take. I want to find out the LCM of 4 and 6. Let us take 4, 6. 4, 6. Here what is there? Factor. Here what is there? Multiple. What are the multiples of that 4? 4, 8, 4 1s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 4 3s are 12, 4 4s are 16, 4 5s are 20, 4 6s are 24 and so on. What are the multiples of the 6? 6 1s are 6, 6 2s are 12, 6 3s are 18, 6 4s are 24, 6 5s are 30 and so on. So I want to find out the common numbers in this. Does 4 is common? No. Does 8 is common? No. Does 12 is common? Yes. 12 is presenting here. Now I will check what are the other numbers that are common in both. Does 16 is common? No. Does 20 is common? No. Does 24 is common? Yes. If you are going like this, there will be some other number also which are common in this both. What are the number does is coming here, the same number will be coming here also. It might be. But what I want least common multiple. I want least. What is least? Least means minimum. What is that minimum common number in this? 12. 12 is that minimum common number in this 2. Minimum common multiple in this 2. So what is the answer? 12 is the answer. So 12 is the least common multiple. HCF means highest one because these are finite one. We can able to say highest one because only these are finite. I can say least and I can say highest. But here I cannot able to say highest one because these are infinite. If you say some 2400, so 2400, yes, 2400 will be present in both, but apart from 2400, 24,000, 24 lakhs is also there. That's why I cannot able to say the highest one, but definitely I can able to say the least one. That's why least common multiple is important. So common multiples are 12 and 24, but I want least one. What is the least multiple? 12 is the least multiple. So what is the LCM of 4 and 6? 12 is the LCM of 4 and 6. Now let us take one more example. I want to find out LCM of 2, 5, 10. I want to find out that LCM of 2, 5 and 10. LCM, least common multiple. So I want to find out the multiples of 2. What are the multiples of 2? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 and so on. What are the multiples of that 5? 5, 10, 15, 20 and so on. Here somewhere 20 will also come. What are the multiples of the 10? 10, 20, 30 and so on. Now I want to find out the common ones. Does 2 common in this one? No. What are the common? 10 is common, 10 is common, 10 is common. And next one, what are the next common multiple? 20, 20 is common, 20 is common. So likewise 10, 20 and so on will be the common multiples. But what multiple I want? I want the least common multiple. I want the least common multiple I want. What is the least common multiple? 10 is the least common multiple. That's why 10 is the LCM of 2, 5 and 10. 12 is the LCM of 4 and 6. 8 is the HCF, highest common factor. What are that factor? That is highest. That is the answer of that HCF. Now you understand what is HCF and what is LCM. If you really understand, if you are facing difficulty before this lecture to find out what LCM and HCF, and after listening my lecture, if you are feeling, if you are having confidence that I can able to find out LCM and HCF again, then please do let me know by like that video and by share your comment. Here I will show you one magic. For example, let us take two numbers. So the two numbers are 4 and 6 I will take. From this example, I am going to teach one concept. So all of you find out that LCM of 4 and 6. Take a pen and paper and pause the video, solve. What is the LCM of 4 and 6? So that LCM of 4 and 6 is 4. What are the multiples of 4? 4, 8, 12 and so on. 6, 6, 12 and so on. Least common multiple 12. So what is the LCM of 4 and 6? 12. Now find out HCF of 4 and 6. Find out HCF of 4 and 6. What are the factors of 4? 1, 2, 4. What are the factors of 6? 1, 2, 3 and 6. So what is the highest common factor? 2. 2 is the highest common factor. Now what I am going to do is, I am going to multiply that LCM of 4 and 6 and I am going to multiply that LCM of, I am going to multiply that LCM of 4 and 6 and I am going to multiply that HCF of 4 and 6. Let us see what I will get. LCM of 4 and 6 into HCF of 4 and 6. What I will get? What is that LCM of LCM of 4 and 6, 12. What is that HCF of 4 and 6? 2. What is the answer that I got? 24 as the answer that I got. Now what I will do is, I will multiply these two numbers. 4 into 6. What is the answer that I got? 24. See the magic. 24 that I got from here and 24 that I got here. Now let us check. Does it really same for all the other number also? If I multiply LCM and HCF, I got 24 as the answer. If I multiply what is the number that I was taken, then also I will got the same answer. Now I will take 4 and 6 completed, right? Now I will take, now you say any other numbers? Now I will take 3 and 6. So LCM of 3 and 6 is what? LCM of 3 and 6. 3, 6, 9 and so on. 6, 12. So LCM of 3 and 6 is 6. And HCF I want to find. HCF of 3 and 6. What are the HCF? 3. 1 and 3. 6. 1, 2, 3, 6. So 3 is the HCF of. Now I will multiply LCM into HCF. What is the LCM? 6. What is that HCF? 3. What is the answer that I got? 18. Now I will multiply the numbers. 3 into 6. What is the answer that I got? 18. Here also I am getting the same logic. If I multiply LCM and HCF of the two numbers, then what the answer that I am getting? I am getting that same answer by multiplying the numbers which I have taken to find out LCM and HCF. So this is the relation. This is the concept. All of you put side heading relation between LCM and HCF. So this is one of the important formula. LCM of two numbers into HCF of two numbers will always equal to product of the two numbers. And one more thing you need to remember is, this is valid for two numbers. This is valid for two numbers. If you take three number A, B, C, then it does not hold for all. But if you take two numbers, it is hold for every possible set. So remember that LCM into HCF equal to product of the two numbers. LCM of two numbers into product HCF of two numbers will always equal to product of that numbers. So this is the very important. Every year one question will be come from here. Do you all understand with this? Please make a note of this. So our next topic is prime factorization. What is our next topic? Our next topic is prime factorization. So what are the topics that we learn today is how to find what is LCM and what is HCF, how to find out LCM and HCF. To understand how to find out LCM and HCF and what LCM and HCF are, we have read some previous concepts. What are that one? What are factors? What are multiples? What are prime numbers? What are composite numbers? Let me give you the overview of what we have learned today. Our main focus is we want to learn LCM and HCF. To understand what LCM and HCF are, we have learned some previous prerequisite topics: factors, multiples, prime number, composite number. After learning this, we have learned LCM and HCF. So after learn LCM and HCF, we learn how to find LCM and HCF. After learning LCM and HCF, we learn how to find LCM and HCF by definition method. LCM and HCF. So our next topic is, here also we are going to find how to find LCM and HCF only, but by prime factorization method. Prime factorization method. So to know how to find LCM and HCF by prime factorization method, what is the thing that we need to know? We need to know what actually prime factorization method is. So to find out LCM and HCF by prime factorization method, what do we know? We need to know what prime factorization method. So that's why our next topic is prime factorization. So in tomorrow's video, we will start with what prime factorization is. After that, we will find out how to find LCM and HCF by prime factorization method. After this, after completion of this, our 50% of the chapter is over. And next one, we will discuss irrational number and how to prove irrationality of that particular number. I hope today you are easily understand today's lecture, because this one is very basic. And one more thing I want to say you is, if you are feeling any discomfortableness and anything that you are not going to understand, please watch it twice. If you watch it twice, thrice, then you will familiar with the things. I hope today's lecture you are understandable, and let's meet tomorrow. Till then, bye bye, take care, and signing off. So okay then.